What is going on, guys? January 30th, 2023, your Monday market update. We got some crazy stuff going on this week. We got crazy stuff all around the world here. We have the Fed coming out. Looks like they're probably going to raise rates. There's all kinds of stuff online, by the way. You can go check to see, the betting markets, what people think the Fed's going to do. It's usually pretty spot on. The Fed's been pretty transparent about what they're going to do. And I mentioned this in a bunch of videos recently, in the one we are just uploading as well about the Nigerian Naira and them limiting withdrawals, trying to get cashless society, get people into the CBDC, and the massive Bitcoin searches going forward that they have there. There's no adoption of the CBDC, and there's tons of Bitcoin searching and tons of Bitcoin buying, massive premiums in Bitcoin. That's the game theory playing out. That's why Bitcoin will take off to the moon. That's why it is already a little bit. But coming back full circle, one of the reasons Bitcoin is pumping a bit is global liquidity is actually up. So the Fed's tightening, giving you the vision of it. Oh, we're tightening. Oh, hey guys, like we're tightening over here. But yet global central bank liquidity is just being injected, pumped into the market again, because we know here, we can see what's going on. If we go into what's actually happening, going into the bond market, we can see the US bond market, the 10-year is at 3.5 still. So we know here, I mean, look at the yield curve. The yield curve is still inverted. We have the 10 years at 3.5, and we can see the last few months, it's been steadily going down, just kind of notching lower lows, lower highs, and notching downward. Liquidity being injected into the market. So we know that's why stocks been pumping a bit. We know that's why Bitcoin, because people think it's a risk-on asset. And eventually people will see that it's not. That's why Nigerians are figuring that out right now. Canadian truckers were figuring that out. The Dutch farmers figuring that out. Russians figuring that out. Ukrainians figuring that out. It's not a risk-on environment asset, is it? When you absolutely need it to survive and it's the only thing you have because your bank has been bombed out, literally, in war, or because someone doesn't want you. They don't have your cash, so they halt withdrawals like the banks are in Nigeria or like a crypto exchange. Or they just don't like you, like in the Dutch or Canadian situations, and they say, you're an enemy of the state. We're going to take you out. Well, here we are, guys. Here we are. This is the chapter of the story we're in right now. And people still fight me on it. What is it useful for? And what are we going to do? People don't question the system they're in now. People don't question it. They don't say like, well, what if the Federal Reserve hikes rate or drops rate to zero and just destroys all my currency? They just like accept it as fact. Like 2% inflation is great. I love getting 2% of my stuff in my home stolen every year. It's the greatest feeling. Bitcoin comes around and like, what in the world? What if an asteroid hits the Earth? What if the entire internet shuts down? It's like, you won't have your dollar anyway. I digress. Let's keep moving forward. So we can see, the bond market. We're gonna check the DXY. So it's at 102. So it's bumped up a little bit, but again, still fairly low. We've seen obviously here as well. This is a sharp move lower, the DXY. So the relative strength of the dollar is really fallen against the basket of these other currencies, obviously. So we can see liquidity again easing, debt repayments all around the world, and easing. Quite honestly, I mean, you can say in a way easing tensions around the world a little bit. You had central banks, people freaking out, couldn't pay their loans, countries collapsing just a few months ago in the fall, and now things have really lightened up. So they are pumping things, the Bank of Japan, central banks all in the background pumping while giving the jawboning that, hey, we're tightening, we're 0.25 basis points, and or 25 basis points, 0.25% increases. So it's just absolute clown world. That's what you have to see. You have to come in here, look at the numbers, see what's actually going on. We see stocks are, again, trading sideways for the most part, I guess, we'll say. Crude oil is down just a tad. No huge moves. Gold is, again, getting up towards all-time highs, though. Again, silver still half from its all-time high. Gold getting up towards all-time high. So, there's a lot of alarm bells going off. If you're really paying attention, a lot of alarm bells going off. Like we said, Bitcoin is almost touched 24,000 in the last about 24 to 48 hours. So, there's a lot of alarm bells starting to go off. And, we got the people we have the life raft out here for people. It's the people on the Titanic saying, you know what, I don't want Bitcoin. I don't want to get in that life raft because I know Titanic's not going down. They don't question the Titanic. They just were told by the company itself, White Star Line, unsinkable ship. And people just set sail and, hey, it is what it is. I'm good, man. The government told me they'll repay this. They'll pay these bonds. They'll just do it. We're good. These entitlements they promised me, Social Security, Medicare, they're there. I will get that. It was a promise. You know how many times I've heard someone say to me, yeah, but it's a promise, Brandon. They promised that. Since when has that stopped any elected or unelected politician or bureaucrat from doing anything against what they've told you to do? This is why we do this here on this channel. We question everything. we provide hopefully a different approach, a different perspective, different thoughts, different patterns, pattern interrupts of what's actually going on in society. How many times have we been burned and we're going to keep going down this road thinking we're going to get something different? Millions of times, and we're just going to keep doing it. Question everything with boldness, even the existence of God himself. For if there is a God, surely he would rather pay homage to someone questioning him than just blindfolded fear, and learning more and discerning more than just blindfolded fear. So what are we doing at the end of the day? What are we doing to actually get better, to grow? Again, here's inflation. Here are these clown world stats, actual inflationary stats that the government's not showing you, right? They're not showing you these. They can't show you. They don't know how to show you. And apparently we're not going to get them today. So that's beautiful. Let's see. We'll give it one more go. Well, there we go. So you can see inflation well above, 3 times above what they're telling us. So they're saying it's 6, but it's really 15, probably more like 18 to 20. So this is how we used to show it. Just like to show us every day. Show it. This is what's really going on. How we used to measure it 40 years ago. Well, it's telling us it's much higher. And again, it's important to see. Bitcoin just steadily continues to rise up the charts. I mean, can you imagine in the next few years when Bitcoin is climbing top 5, top 2, top 3, 1, and it keeps pulling away and pulling monetary premium away from all these other assets? People are going to be losing their mind. Still, there are going to be so many people fighting the paradigm and arguing with it. Let's see the debt clock really quick. Let's see what's going on here. Let's also bring up the dollar. How is the dollar doing against Bitcoin? Oh, it's getting destroyed the last 7 years once again. So we make sure, hey, the debt's still running. Bitcoin's still running. We know that as well. Bitcoin's still running. Let's see Bitcoin here. Is it still running? What does Clark Moody's dashboard say? Or you can check time chain stats, time chain calendar. Go check these. Look, yep, Bitcoin's still running. We can see it's all going 10 every 10 minutes or so. Tick-tock, next block. So Bitcoin's running. We see the debt still going up. So we know, like I've said many times, we're going to continue mathematically. This is going to continue going up. This debt, it's not reversing as far as I know. It's going to continue going up. It's going to continue devaluing your dollar. Bitcoin is going to continue gaining in strength because it's going to continue falling. The dollar will continue falling against Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin will continue gaining in strength. And I always like to show and kind of wrap here with buying eggs of Bitcoin. What happens when we're buying eggs of Bitcoin? Over the last 40 years, your life gets more and more expensive. Needing more, you got to find more and more of those dollars in the couch cushion to find your allotment for eggs for that week. But if you hold in Bitcoin, boy does your life get cheaper and cheaper because there's less and less Bitcoin over time. Meaning you have more and more purchasing power. Every Satoshi buys you more and more eggs. You can buy whole farms here if you've been holding over the last 10 years. This will happen in the next 10 years, and it'll happen again the next 10 years. Remember, your currency already fell by 99% over the last 110 years. Now, 110 year anniversary and this year, and it will fall another 99% over the next 100 years, probably the next 10 years, 20 years, to be quite honest. So what is it we're doing to take a different path and do something different for ourselves, for our family, for our future, for the world, quite honestly? So please like and subscribe to the channel here. Please share this out, the market update for today. I appreciate your time, your energy. It's the most important asset we have. Bitcoin is time and time is Bitcoin. The only finite trade I know of, finite time for a finite asset. The only two. I appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one.